2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 4, select board pay orders.
There's a pile of them.
I move to approve the pay orders for payroll and accounts payable.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 5, announcements and correspondence.
I attended the sheriff's session on the regional policing pilot program. He's planning to ask the legislature to endorse for Windham County, and everyone that's been going to these has been generally positive about the idea. And so when we asked, what can we do to help him along with this project, he said, talk it up to your friends, call your legislators, be positive about it when it comes up, so basically just in general support it when it comes up. The CDBG-DR grant process, that's Community Development Block Grant, Disaster Recovery. Grant process is almost complete. The final step is to hit submit tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline, and so I just want to say thank you so much to Christine Gadbois and Karen Garrity and everyone who's responded to my random questions. And we should hear back about whether we got accepted for any of the grants in November. The select board will be back to your regular schedule of first and third Mondays starting in October, which means we have another meeting next Monday. And I will be attending Town Fair in South Burlington next week, starting the evening of October 7th and returning on Friday, 10/10. Correspondence included in the board's packet. The Windham County Sheriff's Office will host a regional policing session. You know what? Those are not the right ones. There's a letter from GMP informing us that they are putting in new utility lines above and below ground, mainly along Route 11, Route 100, Old Stowell Hill Road, Sheriff Wood Forest Road, and North Main Street. And there might have been something else, but I guess that's old, so that's all I've got.
I just got that letter in the mail today too. It didn't seem timely to me either, but they kind of skipped over the fact that they've been working on Under the Mountain Road for
Right.
weeks on end now.
Right.
All right, anything from the office?
Wednesday's tax day. I probably will be here till 5 if anybody needs to get here later.
Oops, sorry. Just making sure we are on.
Do you want to announce the dam,
The
Todd Manise?
Oh, yep. And so Todd Manise and I were able to come up with a date. It is the October 18th. It's a Saturday at 9:30 a.m. at the Town Hall. Presentation on the positive effects of removing the dam.
But the 8th or the 18th?
18th.
And we'll get it out in the email and did we decide to send a postcard?
No, we weren't gonna do a
Okay.
postcard. I figured the next Monday I'd just get
Yeah.
the flyers out.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we'll post it on the website and stuff.
Yep. Item 6, visitors and concerned citizens. 6A is Meg Staloff, annual BDCC update. Meg here.
She's supposed to be here,
All right,
but I guess she's not.
guess we'll come back to that.
Okay.
If she shows up. Moving on to 6B, GMP easement request, Scott Ross. How's it going, Scott? So my understanding is that you just need to go from the pole that's on the previous buyout property?
It's about 140 yards from that pole that's sitting on town property over to the foundation.
So it's not really an easement, right? It's more of a, do they still need to get an easement from GMP?
GMP is okayed it. Greg came out and looked at it and said he had no problem with it.
You just need permission to put the ditch in.
Right.
Yeah, Hunter's doing the excavation and Green Mountain said that they just need your permission to allow us to pull the power from that to the house underground. So it would be not, hanging out with all the
Right.
ice and trees and everything.
Usually, and maybe this is a different situation, but usually what Green Mountain Power does is Greg will prepare the easement and either through you or directly to the town
After
for
you-
a signature.
After you've approved it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Yeah.
I would think that as long as we're in agreement, that would fall. Because
Okay.
usually they wouldn't put it in the ground without the paperwork, I don't think.
No, I just wasn't sure what the process would be with the,
I think if
Yeah,
we,
they need the okay from the town.
Yes.
Yeah.
to prepare the paperwork.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, that sounds right.
I don't see any problem with it, but the only thing I think we need to check on is, since it's a buyout property, if we are,
If that's
You're not
allowed,
supposed to
permissible.
build any structures.
yeah.
Doesn't say you can't dig a hole. or-
Well, I wonder if utilities are considered a type of structure.
that's a good question.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I can see being a hiccup. Because that was a FEMA buyout.
Yeah, we have documentation on the FEMA buyouts. I could
But
check
the
that.
property can't be built on.
I know, but there's a lot of restrictions that come with the FEMA buyout, and I don't think that's gonna be a problem, but
FEMA
I think to
buyout.
be safe, it's something we need to check on.
Question. You could still make a motion contingent on the buyout
Yeah,
issue.
other than that, I don't see a problem with it. Anyone else?
No,
No.
not at all.
And
Do we
if
need-
that's a hurdle, I think the only thing they'd have to do is put it in the pole.
Well, the pole, I'm trying to get away from the pole because that's another $13,000.
Yeah, I know, I
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
You can go from their pole underground, right?
From their pole, I can go underground.
But the only concern there is we just gotta check with FEMA to make sure that's permissible use of a buyout property. And hopefully it is, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem, but
I wouldn't think so.
I think it's
Because
better
the
to-
power pole's there.
yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
better
It's on
to
that
check.
property.
Yeah, I'll check the language.
So anyone wanna make a motion contingent on being okay with FEMA buyout?
Yeah, I didn't write anything up on that one because I wasn't sure
What's the
exactly
name
what
of
we were
the
doing.
property, Scott?
Russ.
Russ. I would make a motion to approve the underground utility for the Ross property contingent on the approval from the FEMA buyout guidelines.
Guidelines, okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We will try to get you that answer as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, I should have it to you by tomorrow.
Remember, you're working with FEMA.
We have documentation on, it's in the folder, so I just have to figure out where it is. I have been dealing with FEMA, so yeah.
6C, Ben Sargent, short-term rental.
Still here, still going. Yeah, we are just requesting 2 more of our structures, and I know that sounds ridiculous because you guys gave us a lot of leeway and really helped us out. It was just that we were caught up in Act 250, and when the grandfathering actually happened, I got my decision, and so I was sort of wrongly assumed that like all of our structures would have been included. They weren't. So we're feeling a little bit stuck right now because we're trying to sell our barn. Financially, we're just in a predicament, and we're running into issues. So I'm basically was asking for reconsideration on the structures. And I'll just, if I have I'll be as quick as I can. I'll just say this, because I get distracted otherwise. Hi guys, please don't take this the wrong way because we're tremendously grateful we've been grandfathered in and are very excited to be allowed to do what we're doing. I appreciate this in a huge way. My issue is that I have had to pivot so many times during this ordeal. I'm financially drained and exhausted. Currently, our farmhouse, the one that we live in, and downstairs den are not included as rentals, and that's fine, but they really should be. Our most recent move is to sell the big barn we just built to put us in a better financial spot after everything we've gone through. What we're finding, and I did this to myself because I voted for the regulations of SDRs, is that we actually cannot sell our barn. We've had 3 offers. Each of them have been withdrawn when my wife, Luana, the realtor on this, explains the new regulations on a new second home in Londonderry. Second homeowners do not seem to be willing to buy a ski house they can't rent out short term. So now we are feeling very stuck because the barn was like going to be my out. This is a request to see if you guys would reconsider your decision here in regards to our cabins. I've put just about everything on the line to get to this point. My house was used, as you know, as collateral, and I've been held up in hearings for over a year and a half. This is a very hard business, and we're truly in need of each of our listings to make this work. As most of you know, I went through an appeal process with the neighbors, followed by Act 250 proceedings. The neighbors' appeal was denied, and Act 250 also ruled in our favor. This was all very long and drawn out process. In the end, I was in fact allowed to have the building permits according to the town and to own and run my listings as outlined by Act 250 decision. I emailed this decision immediately to Andy that all 11 units were allowed to exist. Andy got back to me with the renewals, but not the 2 new registrations I would need. I believe this was an error because my grandfathering did not take place until July 1. I can completely understand this hesitation on his part as he felt my 9 listings were grandfathered at the time of the first meeting, but that decision was appealed and did not take effect until a few months after at the town vote. Anyways, I paid for my 2 cabins and picked up my registrations from Tina. We were away, so we paid online. We have receipts for this and photocopies for the ones that we had taken momentarily off the rental platform. These cabins were taken out only because I was wrongly accused of tripping Act 250 based on an excess of 9. 10 would trip Act 250. But it was decided most of mine did not count as they were built back in 1993. I have reservations well before any cutoff date going back as far as 2020. Our farmhouse has been on the platforms Airbnb and VRBO for over 14 years. I assumed these 11 cabins would be fine, as I made it abundantly clear that we had won our case. No other reason to share that with Andy. We were allowed to have them, and they never needed to be removed. Anyway, my family is spread very thin at this point, and we believe this entire ordeal could have been solved with a lemonade on our porch, as I was happy to agree to all terms that my neighbors set out from day 1. I have since signed an agreement with my neighbors to put them all at ease. This project is done, and I will be planting trees for the rest of my life for them. Yet, I believe it turned out beautifully and no harm was done in the end. It's naturally and beautifully restored, and I have protected the appearance of Danny Cobb's fields exactly as I planned to do. We are not adding cabins here, we're just asking to be allowed to rent our existing. I'm asking for my family to be able to do basically what we have been doing all along. A lot of slander and disparaging press was used to stop my project. I never was mandated to cease and desist. This was fully fabricated. Act 250 is not an enforcement agency, and I was never required to stop the rental of any of my cabins. This false claim was followed up with some very harsh newspaper articles that has ruined our reputation here. These neighbors were 100% wrong on this, and my family is greatly affected by this ordeal. Anyway, I believe my intentions were made clear from day 1. I fought very, very hard to pull this off, as all of you know. It is incredibly hard for me to hold on to this family farm, and we are just asking you to reconsider what we need to do to make this work. Happy to hear your input on this. Thanks again, Ben.
Andy, do you have anything to add?
I think there's one characterization that doesn't ring true for me, which is the not providing applications for non-existing or previously unacknowledged rentals. That's the, and you said that was an error. I don't agree that there was an error there. I simply processed applications as I got them, and the ones I had seen and processed were eligible for renewal, and the others were not, because they simply hadn't been acknowledged as existing or going through the prescribed rental registration process. That's all.
And at the short-term rental meetings, it was made pretty clear the night that we voted on it, that once we voted on that, you had what you had, and that was it. I was the one who told you that, and you agreed to that.
No, I know, but the actual grandfathering didn't happen until the July 1st.
Did you have an application in for any of these before,
We had payment in,
but no application?
correct. We had an application, we had a signed application, but because I was caught up in this whole thing, it was just an oversight on our part. It was sitting in her office, so that was a mistake.
Well, we discussed this with the town attorney today. His view is that the ordinance was pretty clear, and us as a select board have given Andy the authority to monitor this program, and I myself stand by what Andy decided. Thoughts?
I feel the same way, I guess, that I would have to rely on Andy's expertise on the grandfathering and the dates, and, you know, we have a lot on our table and rely specifically on his knowledge to help guide our decisions, so.
Well, that's why we have Andy there, but I'm gonna listen to him. Why do we have him? Maybe take another look at it, make sure, or you feel good about it the way it is, or?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've asked the town attorney to look at this and several other renewal questions, and as of today, he was clearer than ever that what the ordinance says is what I'm obliged to follow. And so I don't see how I could enroll as renewals any property, Ben's or anybody, if they weren't already in the program and in good standing before in the first year of the program. So I mean, our town attorney made it clear to me today that that's not latitude or interpretation I should embark on. So I don't want to do something that is legally shaky, and to me, legally shaky would mean not adhering closely or literally to what the ordinance says. So.
I totally understand what you guys are saying, but I just feel like we could be having the same conversation if you guys said, well, we have your registration, but we don't have your payment.
But what he's trying to say is we sent the payment online.
You have my payment.
Because we weren't here. And I remember sending the application online, but we've had the copy of the application that we signed. Andy didn't receive it, and I absolutely believe that you didn't. Because usually he will put a receipt, and we don't have that. We have the paperwork that we filled out. And so it was a mix-up. We made the payment thinking that we sent it, it's there, and we're gonna receive a response back. And we didn't, and then when we went to renew, and they sent us the list of what we needed to renew, and it wasn't our house and the den, which we paid for and thought we were good for.
And I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus, because he's been great with me, but the only thing is that I said, the only reason I sent in the Act 250 decision, and I should have been more clear about this, was to say, hey, Andy, look, we're allowed to have 11 listings.
11 listings.
There's no other reason for us to have that communication.
We ended up taking our house and our den because we wanted to make our neighbors happy. We didn't have an understanding of what Act 250 was, worked like. We stopped our project. We said, okay, if 10 is the max, let's take out what we, are living in. We don't need to rent our house. And let's take the den because that's creating so much issue. But at the end of the day, after understanding the process, a year or two, We never needed to stop project. That was a major loss that we had. And we never needed to stop our operation because we were completely entitled to do so, even if at the end, Act 250 voted against
Yeah, we
us.
shouldn't have taken out a single listing. So it's like we're kind of being penalized now, and I get it, but we're being penalized for the mistake of our neighbors. That's not fair.
That we feel like that's not fair.
It's not fair.
Because if that would have never happened, we would have continued to have our applications and everything would have been okay.
So what's the end result of this? Would there be a 1-year delay for a possible registration next year, or is it not? What's the determination
The
on?
result, the grandfathering language in Article 4 allows those people who operate more than the new limit to continue to rent what they've been renting in the first year. But it doesn't allow anyone to add beyond the prescribed limit of.
Right, so it's specific to grandfathering.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, so we've got 3 people in town who were operating more than the new amendments would have allowed, and all 3 of those operators were, again, grandfathered. That word's not in the ordinance, but that's the effect of it, is that they could continue to renew so long as they own the properties.
So long as the property does not switch names.
Yeah, so it's not, you're right that there's a delay for 1 year for a new property owner, but that wouldn't apply here because this is, the ownership hasn't changed, but the registration, I think the biggest black and white in that either a property was registered, issued a registration and a license by June 30 of this year, meaning it was included in the first year group, or it wasn't. So, yeah, and payment is part of that, so is the application and the inspection, clearing the inspection and then being issued the license, so.
There's no appeals process built into the ordinance, and we've given Andy the authority to administer the program. He's going by the ordinance. Any thoughts from the board?
I wish there was a way we could find some way around this, being the first year that we're doing it. I mean, there's bound to be things that don't get quite included and all done right.
I just think for the future, it's incredibly confusing to have an online payment system and then require an in-person handing of the registration. It doesn't make any sense. It's bound to cause a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I can completely see your side of it. I'm just saying, like, from our side of it, we felt like not only did we have all the time in the world, but there were like 3 meetings until the grandfathering happened, and I said to Luana, don't even stress because they have my payment, we're good. So to me, it didn't even occur to me that we'd be sitting
I
there.
guess what we're saying is, we made the payment online, and then we send the applications. In what we are deciding right now, it sounds like you can make your payment online, but it's better to come in person and drop your application.
Correct.
Because if you don't do that, or if you apply online, then there's room for you to mess up, or the system, you don't get it, or it gets lost on the mail, and then what happens?
And I have this year's all in cash, in envelopes, in person, that
In copy,
I'll make sure I do
because
right.
we don't want this to happen.
That's just,
Without an application filled out, I don't see any leeway here.
well, she has an application.
We have the
He doesn't have an
yeah,
application filled
that's
out.
the problem. We have an application filled out and signed with a copy
He
of the
doesn't have it.
receipt. He doesn't have the application. we were away, we sent it out,
You can
so.
email it to him.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we sent it out.
But she has everything, but it was my
But he didn't
mistake to
receive
tell
it, is
her.
what we're
just-
saying.
I literally told her 100 times, we're fine, we're good. That's all.
That's what we're saying. We're not saying that we didn't send it out. We're saying we have a copy, but he didn't receive it. And then we didn't receive a copy of it being received. But we...
I think if the payment was received on time and there were any evidence of the signed application being filled out on time and an effort was made, if there were, if there was an email that you had your end of it, that, I mean, I don't know.
I'll give you guys what I
What is-
have, what I think is
Yeah.
fair, because everything was on time. You know what I mean? It
The
was-
application wasn't in on time.
Correct. So what I needed to do is pay online with no stub, no nothing, and then I needed to come to you guys in
You
person.
don't have to pay online.
You can
No,
email.
but I did,
No, but
so that's the mistake
but
I
we
made.
did because we weren't...
That's not true. 90% of the applications come in electronically.
Oh, so you can submit it online.
But there's the problem.
You
but
can
this is
email the
the-
application to them.
This is the mess up that I made. It says $150, bed sergeant, hosted, and the connection that I didn't make in person was to come and say, and here, arrow, is the cabin that I would like to register. And I thought, here's again where I was wrong, I thought that by giving you guys the full decision by Act 250 that 11 units were allowed to be in operation, that was my explanation for, hey, Andy, I'm good, I'm in the clear. And then you came back to me and you said, I will give you 9 renewals.
That's what you had in the first year of the
But
project.
I needed 11.
One of these buildings didn't even exist prior to July 1st.
We're
Is that
talking
true?
about
the house,
our
the big house.
our main house and the den.
But you are renting out currently a building that did not exist when this new ordinance went into effect, are you not?
It
What?
did.
What?
Or everything.
You have a new building on your property
We built four.
that came in after the Act 250 decision, correct?
After Act 250?
And
No,
after the ordinance went into effect,
No, Act
correct?
250 saw all of my plans and everything that I wanted to do and gave me the thumbs up for it.
You came in and tried to get a license for an STR that was not built yet, that Andy could not look at.
No, I didn't. I didn't. The reason, that was gonna be a huge structure. That was gonna be a big barn. I had bought the barn. I then subsequently had to go and sell the barn. And then I brought in a small cabin, put it on a truck, because I knew there was no way I was gonna get in and get grandfathered trying to do my barn. I lost like $100,000 on that frame due to the neighbors that were 100% wrong.
but that structure was on the property before even the boat here in Londonderry.
So like, as soon as we ran into issues, we literally were like, okay, fine. Frame, no frame. Get rid of it, sell it, which I did.
What we did is downsize basically from what we originally had.
And we replaced it with a little tiny cabin, which is there now. It took 5 seconds to put it down.
There was no application to rent that, was there?
No, we're using our house one. Since the house is out, we're using that one. And we honestly, we don't really need the house because we live in the house, but the den is a killer for us because it was a very successful rental for us and we really need it.
And it's a room in the house.
I don't see any leeway here. You had your 9 applications in. You were grandfathered for the 9 that you had in the program. I think it's cut and dry myself.
Yeah, I wish there was a way, but if the attorney says that it has to be in on a certain date and it wasn't there, then...
I just want to say one thing, and I know it says again, but the grandfathering didn't take place the day that we had a meeting. I know you guys said, hey, Ben, are you cool with that? And I said, yeah, I'm cool with that. You're giving us 9, that's awesome. Grandfathering did not happen that day.
No, it didn't.
The grandfathering happened on July 1st.
You had a chance to get in applications for the other ones.
Okay, I mean, we could go
We
back
did
and
not
forth on
receive the
this.
application.
We'll go back and forth on this forever, and I think that's fair, because I think what we're saying is fair. Like, are you kidding me? We paid for them. Are you kidding me? I showed you that I had 11. And you guys, that's completely fair what you're saying, like, I'm sorry, we don't have the document.
Well, it sounds like the board's going with Andy. Is that correct?
I think the risk is setting a precedent otherwise in a new program that's, trying to get rolled out here, so.
We allow one without an application, everybody's gonna come in.
No, we certainly don't want to undermine Andy. It's pretty stressed, we put him in that position, we're gonna have to go along with what he says. It's like the bad appraiser on Pond Star.
I understand. Like I said, I was just like, even Andy agreed with me. He's like, I can see your side. You're getting sort of, it sucks. My neighbors put me through this. We never had to pull out a single listing.
We have an ordinance and we have to stick by it, unfortunately.
I get it.
Okay, thank you.
Laura's here from BDCC.
We'll move back to the annual BDCC update.
Can I stand up from here? Is that okay? So, thank you, Laura Civilian here from BDCC. Doing just a quick update, our annual update when we go to select boards and talk about the programs that we're offering throughout the region, workforce and business support programs. This is our annual appeal to the select boards to either include this in the budget or as a separately warrant article. I'm not sure which you had done here.
We have an article, but we might be having a discussion about including it
In the budget.
when we do the budget.
Okay, great.
But we'll keep you informed.
Okay, great. And we are very happy to come to town meeting and, defend that request, explain to the citizens here what the services are that are available. And you should have received an update. I'm happy to talk about any of the programs that we offer. I know we're getting a little deep into your agenda, so I don't know how long you would like me to talk about all of this. But happy to answer any questions you might have with regard to that. I want to leave these executive summaries of our comprehensive economic development strategy. That's a 5-year plan for growing the region. That's done through a public process. And these are a big part of how we develop programs in order to be responsive. And lastly, I just want to encourage you all, we sent a survey to the select board members. I can take those in person, you can do it online, you can drop it in the mail, but it's really important to us. We think that we are developing programs and processes that are helpful for communities, that's our intention, but we're really interested in making sure that we understand what the real challenges and opportunities are in each town. We find that there's a lot of common challenges and opportunities that towns are facing, but sometimes we really don't understand, what exactly the pain points are. I know you all are working on some pretty resilience projects here. I don't know if there are other opportunities that you're hoping to realize or challenges, but we would very much like to hear about those.
The survey should be in your packet.
It's in the packet.
I believe so. Somewhere in there. With the,
21.
yeah. Somewhere in that material that they sent.
Yep.
So the individual surveys are really about making sure that we understand an awareness by the select boards about our different programs, but this broader picture of wanting to understand the pain points, opportunities, challenges. It's a little bit more anecdotal than check the box. So Is there anything else that would be helpful for me to share right now? You're talking about, it sounds like, doing something different with the funding request this
Yeah.
year. Is there some way I can be helpful with that?
We'll let you know.
Okay.
I mean, we've already sort of had the discussion. So I'll keep you informed. That's fine.
Can I bring these up?
Oh, of course.
These are long, and I would probably brought it up.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Moving on to item 7, town officials business. 7A, zoning administrator. A1 is discuss roads and bridges standards, road widths.
Yeah, that first one is about what's in the bylaws versus what's in the town road standards. And what isn't in the town road standards is right-of-way width, clear zone, design speed, road surface width, grade, cross slope, intersections, but the construction standards are pretty much the same, and drainage. Do we want to get those closer together, or does it matter? I mean, we would be using these for a new subdivision. I don't know what other new roads there would be in town besides that.
This is the road and bridge standards, they're the state road and bridge standards, correct, that we adopt every year?
Well,
You have
this
your-
is Londonderry, the state is a much larger document.
Yeah, you do have your own, yeah.
We have our own, it's
I don't think
not
it's-
straight out of that?
You know, I don't know whether it's like straight verbatim out of that or whether it's
Yeah,
just,
I wasn't sure.
I don't think we've adopted this state standard. I think this is what has been used. Although, I wanted to bring up, and I can't really recall what we did on Stony Brook, but I thought that there was a discussion about, or I thought that was modeled after maybe the state standard, because it went far beyond this.
Maybe we should update our town standard then.
References to be transparent.
No.
Were you a part of that agreement? Do you recall?
We sort of handed it off to you,
Josh and I
to you and Josh.
did, I don't even know where it would be recorded, honestly. I have a folder of papers that I probably have a copy of what we did there, but, and I know it did go beyond what this refers to.
Yeah, is there any harm in having the zoning subdivision bylaws have more rules than the town road standards?
That I don't know.
Think of.
It probably should match,
I
shouldn't it?
mean,
I could see that getting into if there was an appeal, I could see that getting into being an issue.
yeah, James did point out there is a line in here, questions about modifications to the standards should be directed to V-Trans.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of directing at V-Trans in this.
Yeah,
huh.
so it might be a shortened version of the roads and bridge standards from the state, maybe? I don't know.
And any type of funding that's involved has to involve V-Trans too.
Right, yeah.
Those better standards give you better roads.
Yes.
At a higher cost.
It also
higher
is,
cost.
that's what our highway money's contingent.
No, but if someone's planning to do a subdivision, they should have a clear set of standards to estimate from. Weston has like 4 different standards. The subdivision bylaws, the town road standards, the state road standards, and what they've done in the past are all different. So it's better to have one that's,
I think consistency or clarity helps, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely mentions V-Trans in a couple
Well,
spots.
why don't I go through both again and see
Under access management, V-Trans.
what's different? But the biggest difference is
Yeah,
This document's
width of the road.
yeah.
specifics, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think your document at all says
Road
whether it's
width,
20 or 22 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much clearing? And then the thing, that subdivision that was part in Andover and part in Weston, they said, you know, how can you make us put in a 22-foot road when Little Pond Road is 18 feet on a good day? So that's just another issue.
Right. Well, I think that's an important thing too, because of things exactly like that, you know, our town roads are not necessarily maximized, even
Should
though
be
we
updated.
have the room to do more, they haven't all been fully developed.
Okay.
What section of the bylaws would that fall under?
It would be in the subdivision section under roads.
Okay, but what's 1, 2, 3 sections?
It's like, I don't know.
I don't have it. But if
You don't know it off the
You
top
haven't
of your head.
memorized the whole thing.
if you search roads, it'll come up.
Yeah, I think you just need to dig a little bit into that, because this has a lot of V-Trans stuff
There might be
in
a,
it, so I'm not sure.
Well,
Be a model.
anybody
Yeah,
has
there might be a
any
model.
ideas can,
this was adopted in 2013, so it could stand to be
basement.
updated.
Yeah,
I think one comment in regards to this, I think that, and maybe Patty has some comments too, but I think housing is such a critical thing that the biggest thing we don't want to do is create a roadblock from anybody who is trying to.
well, I think anybody who wants to subdivide more than 2 houses, that is going to be a roadblock. But then there are other subdivisions. We did a subdivision last year that with no new roads, and it was 5-unit subdivision, so. It is possible to do affordable subdivisions, but it's not possible to do affordable subdivisions with roads.
yeah. And maybe
So
run
you
this
gotta
by
four-wheel it?
VLCT.
Yeah, they have a model.
I think run it by VLCT and see what we come up with and revisit it next meeting, or when we got a good answer.
Taylor, you were saying right now we may have narrower roads, but always have the option to expand if the need is there. Is that?
Well, once you put in undersized culverts and once you've done the excavation to do the base of the road, you're not going to widen it another 2 feet.
Yeah,
But I think historically, our roads grow at intervals, you know, when work is being done, they seem to inch a little bit wider, but we don't necessarily go in and widen something 6 feet to meet a new state, you know. Most of the roads are what they are until something changes, basically, I guess. So the condition could exist where the requirements for a driveway that serves more than 3 houses could be more improved than the road that serves it, I guess, instead.
yeah.
And that's, on the new bylaws, that's going down to 1 or 2 houses on a driveway, 3 houses on a road.
Let's dig into it a little bit.
Right, that's the tricky definition, is driveway versus road.
Isn't it 3 houses?
It's
On a driveway
gonna be
is a road.
2, more than 2 is going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
So the other thing is just on updating the fees.
well, just a second.
Oh,
Gotta follow procedure here. A2, application form updates and fee changes. Now you can go ahead.
we don't currently have any fees for permit extensions or permit amendments. And that, you know, that has to be recorded, so we should be charging at least $15. So I just figured 25 was no fee number. And our permit fee schedule is fairly simple, but there's a few things that don't go with the formula. I would recommend anything that has no hearing be $90. Anything that has 1 hearing be $165, and anything that has 2 hearings be $365. So I don't know why a lot line adjustment is more than a permit for a house. It's the same amount of work. And a 2-lot subdivision under the new bylaws will just be, there'll be no hearing. so I figure that should be the same as a no hearing permit. And then there used to be this formula, well, two things. Shane added this, I don't know if you approved it, that if you get a permit after the fact, your fee is doubled. I just think that's unnecessary. And this formula here for more than one review at a hearing, fees for a combined review shall be adjusted from the above schedule. Applicants shall pay the highest initial review per above schedule and a flat fee of 75 for each additional review. I just don't think that's necessary. I think if it's one hearing, you pay the 165, whether you're having a site plan review and conditional use review. There's no additional cost to the town.
That just confuses everybody.
Right, and there's no additional cost to the town.
Yeah.
So I figure you cover the cost of the town, you don't have to. That's my logic.
It takes longer to figure out the fee than...
Right, and also, the way the fee schedule is now, the recording fee is not included, so how many of the checks come through $15 short?
A lot.
25%.
So you just say it's $90 and it includes the recording fee.
And under the new zoning bylaws, a subdivision with a road will require 2 hearings, so that's 2 ads. So that's why I'm suggesting a higher price. So
I feel like we
any
did
jump out?
I feel like we did vote on the doubling for a permit after the fact, just to discourage people from just doing it and saying, hey, now I need a permit. I feel like we did vote on that at some point.
I mean, that would be the reason to have it in there.
Yeah.
But it also potentially discourages people from getting a permit.
Yeah. Have to go back and look at, see if we did vote on that.
I don't know if we voted, but I remember it came up.
Yeah, I
Do you know
remember
when,
this discussion.
do you know approximately when?
Shane redid the fee schedule a few years ago.
Yeah.
I could probably find it.
I feel like if we redid the fee schedule, we would have had to vote on it.
Yeah, I'm sure we did. I don't know when it was. Does it say on the thing when it was revised?
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have the full form. I'm sure it does.
I'm fine with everything else. I don't know about the doubled or not.
A lot of times, people after the fact are people who just bought the house, and the listers do an inspection and find something that was added.
Oh, yeah.
By the previous.
So that's more like, welcome to Londonderry, now pay us a bunch of money.
Yeah,
Okay.
Here's the penalty for buying something that was...
Yeah.
Well, sometimes when realtors go to sell, they also
Yeah, often
find
it's,
something.
sometimes it's within, it's if they do a title search, they'll find them sometimes too.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of an unintended consequence situation where it sounds right for somebody who might be ignoring it, but that's not what the case specifically always is. So I'd be willing to reconsider if you see a trend of it being, someone else's mistake that the wrong person is being punished for.
Well, it's never a house either. I mean, it's a shed or a deck.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot, sometimes people have asked, do I need it? They've asked their neighbors, their friends, they've asked it. Mike and Tammy's, do I need a permit for a shed or a deck? And
They don't tell me
different kinds of
that's
they ask builders that, and they get those.
Yeah. I'm fine with either.
I can see that for sure.
So everybody's thoughts?
I'm fine with it.
Good?
I agree with the don't double the fee if the guy's late. Slap him on the wrist, don't punch him in the face.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So you agree with leaving it or taking it?
I don't mind, $20, $25, $50, but not doubling the fee.
It would be 75 anyway if they did it
It'd be 90.
It'd be 180 if it was double
Or,
under this.
Yeah.
right, if it were just a straight fee, and like you said, it's no more cost really to the town, it's just the fact that they didn't do it on time. It's literally a penalty, it's not a administrative fee.
Yeah, I think this is really put in for those people who do it and then get caught. And you're like, well, now you gotta get the permit. So I
I
don't
think
know.
in our discussion, that's the perspective.
Yeah,
that we-
but we never heard the perspective of somebody buying a house and then getting dinged.
Right.
Right.
I don't like
Yeah.
that.
You'd think that most people coming from anywhere would be used to permits.
Well, and a lot of times now, lawyers ask for a letter saying there's no zoning violations before they even buy, so,
That line item could
yeah,
go back to the seller
yeah,
if that were the case, but
No.
that's another
yeah,
subject.
yeah.
So are we good with this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But you accept, we keeping the after the fact double or not, or getting rid of it?
I think everybody agreed to what you presented, is that correct?
Okay,
No additional cost.
okay.
So we just need someone to move to accept the new fee schedule for, what is it, zoning?
It's only these.
The fee schedule.
I move to accept the zoning fee schedule as presented by Will.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to 7B, Conservation Commission. B1 is discuss forming a regional watershed management task force.
Do we want to call Liam? Is that what you were thinking?
This one's not
This is,
Liam.
yeah, this one's not Liam, no, I was gonna text Liam and tell him.
This
It's
was,
about to get, yeah.
That's the next one.
this was one of the projects that was identified in the long-term recovery program. Or plan, I should say. And it was just to really get the town, surrounding towns around here to have just a watershed task force who can look at like the watershed recommendations that came through just recently from the state. Look at that, explore all that.
So, the process here is probably to create some kind of charge. And then what they recommended was that we contact the other select boards. I guess the other way you could do it is get the select boards together to nominate people and they could write their own charge.
I know this came up because it's got to been done in other situations, other towns. So maybe do some research and try to figure out what other towns have done.
I can do that.
'Cause I'm almost positive we didn't make this up.
No,
So,
I mean, it might not be the watershed task force, but it might be something.
yeah, I forget who was talking to us about it. It might have been Wyndham Regional,
All right, I can ask.
I think. I had so many different people coming into those meetings.
I
Pretty
could-
sure Wyndham Regional spoke about this.
They'll probably have a good place to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to that degree, that would extend beyond the select board. Then, so creating a task force that is communicating with the select board and made up of one.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a task force made up of appointees for a bunch of different
Basically,
towns.
what the Mountain Towns Rec
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
I
But
don't
it
know if
would
we'd
be-
have to have a contract between all towns because it wouldn't be
No,
financial.
it would be more of an advisory committee that would be helping.
Well, it's kind of like what you tried to do with all the select boards, like getting Jamaica and,
The regional flood planning.
yeah.
Sounds complicated.
Wasn't easy.
Yeah,
This is something that, I mean, they wouldn't have to spend any money on it, so
Yeah.
they should be amenable to it, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be their select board, it could be
No,
No, yeah, could be-
other committees.
yeah.
Organizationally, it would benefit everybody, I guess. in that.
yeah,
Yeah, just have a group basically really looking at floodplain restoration, different flood mitigation efforts at a multi-town level.
And I think, I mean, that's, the reality is it's a multi-town
yeah,
issue. So
yeah. Yeah,
resilience goes beyond town lines. That's been determined.
And I believe Weston talked about this too when they didn't do the same long-term recovery plan we did, but they did something similar. And I believe that was one of the things that came up with them too. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to start researching. One of the good goals to start getting proceeding. Alright. 7C, Recreation Director. C1 is mowing memo.
You all have a chance to read it?
I did. If I could ever find it. Got it.
So we had just talked in the past about getting something in writing because there was a lot of discussion. And as I went back through old minutes and whatnot, I couldn't find anything officially written out. So nothing groundbreaking here, but just putting it in writing that Parks is on officially for mowing these places. And then the clarification there that Parks is doing landscaping, but that's just in the 4 named parks, not for the other town properties. So,
Always good to have it spelled out.
yeah. And then that, chart, we don't need, I mean, that's for you guys. I don't really think we need to get into that, it's not pretty simple.
Especially nice to have something like this where, I'm not saying you're going away, but if someone new comes in, they actually have something in writing where they can say, here it is.
And even if the same old people are still in place and we need a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I tend to forget some things sometimes.
Yeah.
It's good to look back.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to me.
Okay.
See me after the meeting, I gotta talk to you about something.
Okay.
And
I'm not sure I'm gonna be around that long, but
I'll stop by.
yeah.
moving on to C2, Facility Use Agreement, Town Hall Haunted House.
Yes, so it's the hope to, pardon the pun, resurrect the haunted house at Town Hall. And I spoke with Melvin Twitchell and Chris Blackie, who, correct me if I'm wrong, because I was gone for many years, took it over with at the fire station, because it hasn't been in Town Hall in quite some time, and now it's been several years since it's happened at all. And they were all on board, as long as they didn't have to be the main person running it. So I'm happy to take that role and start getting some volunteers together and bring it back. So I know we've got, with Trunk or Treat, we want to coordinate with them and timing wise and streets and basically open to whatever suggestions y'all have as far as, because I have not been to Trunk or Treat, so I've heard it's quite the thing, and the road closure coming up in tonight's conversation. So I want to make sure we're doing it in a way where we're not upsetting too many people or putting anybody in dangerous positions, but I would imagine we would have the haunted house probably in the basement, so you could enter in the back, go through the program, end of the bathrooms, and then upstairs would be more social, so you could also just go in and do the social if you didn't want to. And that way we're not messing with the stage, which currently has a bunch of chairs in it. And also in theory makes it more accessible because you got a ramp down in the basement. So. That was the general idea. I wasn't going to go too far. Melvin and I almost met today to talk about potential others, but I figured I'd start here and make sure I can spend my time thinking about it.
You haven't bought all the fake blood yet?
Maybe not. No, so last
Melvin
year I
has
was
tons of stuff.
helping Heather Stevenson and Hobie Chittenden. They had their spooky walk over on Barker, and that's just a private thing that kind of becomes public, and Terry Anderson brings the Thriller dancers, and so they're all on board to share their decorations or whatever, and pass them on, plus whatever we had from whatever's left from the station. So I think we'll be good on supplies, and then we'll just need some people. And probably some more supplies. Definitely more blood.
Sounds good to me.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Anyone can make a motion then?
I move to authorize the use of the town hall for a haunted house on October 31st, 2025, and authorize the town administrator to sign the facility use agreement on behalf of the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. See you on
Have fun.
Halloween.
Make it spectacular.
Accepting volunteers.
Item 8, transfer station solid waste management, 8A's updates. I have none at this time. Item 9, roads and bridges, 9A's updates.
List from Josh, and I added a little bit myself, but,
They've been busy.
what's that?
They've been busy.
Yeah, there's a lot going on around town. One quick note about our fourth road crew member will be on, I guess it's sort of is it a leave of absence, or it's a temporary thing that we were aware of when we hired him.
Yeah.
So I think annually this time of year, this absence may occur, and we approved it at the time. So that has begun, and it will probably, he'll be back probably around Thanksgiving or the end of November. Also, work on Under Mountain Road is continuing. Green Mountain Power and the utility companies that they hired and the excavation company will be starting culvert replacement this week, and going forward, the next couple weeks look like culvert replacement. So that's going to be possible short-term road closures with the anticipation of allowing necessary movement of vehicles along the road for local traffic and emergency services. So
I think there was talk about closing from Crossroad to Thompsonburg.
Because the rest of it,
just local traffic only. Because that's where a good majority of the culverts are, and you can get a lot more done a lot quicker, be out of there.
yeah, and I think based on the concerns, the explanation is kind of that there will be closures, but if somebody that lives there has to move, they will try their best to accommodate. So the idea being that nobody will be stuck for the long term.
Just nobody.
That's the goal anyway. Mowing is still going on with Middletown Road and Little Pond Road left to complete. Pavement milling began on Winhall Hollow Road this week and will continue when that's completed on Langrove Road. And then when both roads are milled, the paving will begin on, probably not simultaneously, but on Winhall Hollow Road, and then they're going to jump back and forth between the two. Reinhard Road box culvert is progressing. They got the base in Friday and started putting the top in today.
I would assume a week or so probably. That should be pretty well done.
Yeah, that might be optimistic, but I hope so.
The progress is going pretty good.
Yeah, they had the crane there, and I didn't hear the results of Green Mountain Power shutting the power down, but I think that part will end when the last concrete precast piece is set, so short term. interruptions in power. A new truck has arrived at Reed's. That's good news, but the bad news is it still needs to go to the Viking to get a plow and body, and they're not ready for it, so we don't have it yet, but they typically do.
Quicker than the last one.
Hopefully, yeah. We'll see. I know that they get busy this time of year, and they've been able to make good on their promises before road maintenance begins, but fingers crossed. Still need to figure out if we're going to buy our road fuel through single source, which would be carbon coated, that does our heating oil, or if we want to put it out to bid to have, it's going to end up being regular deliveries because of the fact that our storage tank is going to be smaller, so we need a different type of contract.
Yeah.
Rather than getting 10,000 gallons at a time, we'll be getting maybe 1,500 or so.
Yeah.
Which will be on a more regular basis, so.
You want to put both the heating oil out to bid and the diesel, or just the diesel?
I think Coda, that went out to bid and they got a 3-year, did we do it for 3 years or something?
For heating oil?
The heating one.
So it would just be for fuel?
Yeah, I feel like fuel, if we go with them, we might even get a little discount, who knows? Or
Yeah, they
it
can
would
give
just
us a
be,
little better.
probably be the easiest way to do it.
I feel like if we're on a timeline with a 3-year contract, I would just tack on the truck fuel till the end of that, and then if we do put it out to bid again,
put both.
It'll be for both.
For both, yeah, okay.
Makes the most sense to me.
I think so too, because if we're basically deciding to work with a specific company, there's no reason to have it be different for.
Yeah.
I mean, heating oil and it's basically on-road and off-road fuel, and there's not a lot of difference, and they deal in both products.
Right. There's a dye in one of them.
Biggest thing is just had some discussion about it and just keeping that discussion going. There are a couple culverts left to put in this year by the road crew. I believe they are the one on the end of Riley Road at Spruce, or not the end of Riley Road, the end of Spruce Hill off Riley Road, and also one on West River Street. And I think there's another one, but I'm drawing a blank on which one that might be. The Grants and Aid project for Edge Hill and that
Bungalow, wasn't it?
Is the Bungalow Road one complete? Josh said that the Grants and Aid projects are completed as of today.
Good.
And the deadline and the paperwork, I think, it was all in progress. He had spoken with the proper people and the timing should be right to get.
They were coming to take pictures and everything.
Yeah, to finalize that and hopefully get a check.
I guess I have work to do.
And then Josh brought up the possibility of discussing the need for a hay bale mulching.
When I talked to him just before the meeting, he said, scratch that idea. It's only like $200 to rent one per day. So he said the amount they use it, there's no need to buy one because they're like $9,000.
Yeah, and I was going to kind of suggest the same. This would be to talk about, or to bring up the discussion anyway, but I think I would have said the same as well. Just that it's an expensive piece of machinery, and with repairs and everything, we'd be really upside down for the amount that.
Yeah, I think they reevaluated that one. Came to the conclusion that wasn't it.
And another thing to consider might be even like a contracted service, because every excavation company around here has one. And they usually have a supply of hay, and hay can be difficult to get, and we no longer store it. There was a
We no
time
longer hay our own field.
when we were getting our own hay,
Yeah.
the septic fields, and that doesn't happen anymore, so I think, maybe it's something that we just budget for. If we are planning a distance of ditching, just figure out if one, like Hunter and Shaves and maybe Wes or any of the excavation companies that have one might be considered just, contracting that. Because of the fact that even if you rent the equipment, we still don't have hay, and it's still quite a process to do all that. So, but it's important when we do long stretches of ditching, which they've done quite a bit this summer. So that's about it. Keep your eyes out for construction on our roads.
Moving on to 9B, review and approve Hell's Peak tree removal proposal.
So this was already discussed, and I think we landed on exactly what was proposed. It's just really finalizing.
Doing the help peak.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lesser amount, and it's something that I think it makes sense to do some of these projects every year, even if we can't do all of it. I think it's just one of those things that it's not a problem that goes away usually.
Until it's a problem.
Yeah, until it's an emergency, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yep. Anyone care to make that motion?
I move to accept the proposal from Save a Tree to provide services relating to tree removal on Hell's Peak Road, estimated to cost $3,950, and authorize the town administrator to execute any documents necessary for the hiring of the vendor contractor to conduct the necessary work.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 10, old business, 10A, GNAT TV hybrid estimates.
So we got 3 options back from Keegan. There's some one is pretty simple. The other 2 are more involved, would result in a higher quality experience, but also would require engineering to set up and also operators to use. So, and I don't know how much, I don't think we've budgeted for this either.
And that's just for this room.
That would just be for this room. So the first option is basically what we've got here, except that it wouldn't be an owl, it would be a camera mounted on the TV. And that option's I think that's a pretty viable option. The only caveat that I would use is that we have been frequently having meetings at the same time as other boards that want to use hybrid technology as well. So there's been quite a competition for this setup. So I'd recommend, getting a full new setup. So another TV, another computer, another camera, another microphone. And he did put the prices in here. For those 2 things.
We kind of talked about the fact that in some situations, the owl works well when there's a small number of people, because it can recognize, in a room full of people, it doesn't work
It's
as well.
bad in this room. It's because it's just it just picks up sounds, so I cough and it goes off of whoever was talking, that kind of thing.
So maybe
So-
the new equipment could be used in best case scenario, and that anybody whose situation tolerates the owl system or setup could
Yeah, I mean,
continue to use that.
the smaller meetings tend to happen downstairs, right? So, and there's some benefit to not having to move this all the time, because every time we move it, we have to figure out how to set it back up and turn it back on, and it's a mess. So,
Makes sense to have one on each level. And
Yeah,
go up and
yeah.
down.
so, yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, it really comes down to the select board's tolerance for running a hybrid meeting. I'm willing to be the operator of the Zoom account. That's not an issue for me. So it really comes down to, how comfortable are you interacting with both people inside, in here and on Zoom on a regular basis. And whether you want to spend the money now, or we want to budget for it for next year, and how complicated do you want, how professional do you want to be?
I mean, I think it may be a little bit of an adjustment, but I think it's something we've been trying to work towards to accomplish. So, I mean, I'd be willing to adapt to having digital participants in the meetings. I think the question about spending the money is, I mean, is there any value to spending a little bit more so that you're not forced to do it over again in short term? Or if we did option one, is that
Expandable or?
right? Or is it good for now kind of thing?
Yeah.
Until we don't, or until something comes up that we're not even aware of yet. I think it's always good to invest in the best technology that you can, because it changes constantly, so.
It's got the engineer setup cost.
Yeah, one of the, I mean, by the sounds of it, the state's gonna require it sooner than later. It's not gonna be a choice.
Yeah.
And there's no point in doing a small system that you're gonna have to replace in 3 years.
Do we know, do you think the state requirements would go beyond option one? Is that what you were saying?
No,
They're just probably
by the
gonna-
sounds of it, it sounds like they're gonna require hybrid meetings.
Yeah,
Right.
It's not gonna be optional.
and hopefully they're gonna throw some money at it.
Doubtful,
Yeah.
but,
But,
yeah.
before you make any decision, maybe we should run it by our tech guy,
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
what he thinks, because,
I like the second
I
option,
mean,
but
I can
You
get
like the
a,
second one?
I can get a TV with our credit card points, so that wouldn't cost us anything.
yeah, I like the second option, but
Yeah.
having someone to have to operate, it's gonna be hard. But the third option, that camera is one of those ones that moves, and like you were saying in this room, I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When this says it may require an engineer to set up, would that be our
That would be the
IT
tech
person?
guy, yeah.
Or would it be
I
Regina?
well, it is multimedia, so that's a good
We
question.
might have to hire, they got Clark who set
Some
up
of it
the-
is,
Yeah.
yeah,
the stuff in here.
And that's initial only, that doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean it's not every time, it's just once
It's
you
just-
set up, then
right.
it's
No, it'll be
Right.
permanent. It'll be a camera there and a camera here.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's send it by Pete and
Yep.
see if, see what he thinks about those options. If you're leaning towards option two, I can specify that that's where you guys are going with it.
That's what I would do, because that camera in option 3 is not gonna work in this room.
Yeah, okay.
Up there.
So even though it says Nat TV is really more like the Zoom, like what the planning commission uses, except they go with the owl.
It would be, yeah, it's
So it's
basically a hybrid
interactive.
solution, yeah, and GNAT could
It's
still,
interactive, and so that had me confused when I was reading this.
what's that?
I said Nat TV isn't interactive,
Right.
So-
I mean, they could still come and live stream and
They-
record,
they-
which would be
what
nice,
they're doing
because
now,
then
This would be more like the Zoom.
it would be the hybrid, yeah, exactly what you've been doing
Like
with the planning
wastewater
commission.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
It
Yeah.
says option 2 is like what Manchester has, and you can live stream their board meetings, they're live streamed.
Yeah.
I don't think you can interact with them, but they're live streamed, you can watch it live.
I think they have a hybrid,
Are they done?
I think so.
I wasn't sure. I haven't watched one in a while.
I watched some of it, but I don't think there was any
I'm
interaction.
pretty sure I've seen a TV that they've been interacting with,
Yeah.
which I assume they're not just talking at the TV. So I could double check on that one, but I'm pretty sure that one's hybrid.
Would you have any idea about the difference between undetermined lifespan and long-lasting equipment? There's not a lot of it.
I think that means one's
That
cheap.
much expired.
The
Yeah.
cheaper one
The
may
cheap-
not last as long.
Yeah,
It will go out of date too very
Yeah.
quickly.
yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing, is the technology expires.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
not expires, but
Yeah.
changes.
I mean, you can get
Right,
2 or 3 years out of a good computer, but
Right.
a piece of,
I'd honestly get rid of the owl and go with whatever they have in for
Yeah.
just the camera too,
you mean downstairs?
downstairs.
yeah.
Because that owl
You mean those option 1?
should
Yeah.
be tossed out the window.
yeah,
The picture on it's so bad, you can't even tell what you're looking at.
yeah.
Yeah,
If I didn't know most of the people who were here when I'm on a Zoom, I wouldn't be able to tell who they were.
So do we want to do some more research on this?
sounds like we want to, yeah,
Pete,
so.
take a look at it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
we'll
guess
send it on
maybe
to Pete.
what I was wondering is, the long-lasting equipment, is that gonna be outdated before out-used?
It'll probably be outdated in 5 to 6
Yeah.
years versus 2.
Right,
Jim, we won't have to worry about it.
I'll still be worried.
Stuff like this is always gonna be outdated.
It may not be a complete replacement, though. It could be something that could be updated.
right, yeah, replace the cameras, yeah, right,
Once it's
replace,
set up, then
Right.
it's components that are updated or replaced, then you can continue.
Yeah.
doing it the same.
Yeah, I think it's something we should probably even look to see if there's any grants for and do something
yeah,
right that way.
try to see if there is,
Yeah, I don't know if there is, but do it right the first time if we're gonna
Well,
do it.
TVs are a dime a dozen, so we can.
The TV
get a
piece we can do, but the setup is important,
Yeah.
so, because it's the video and the sound are the most important parts of the meeting,
It's
so.
not something we're gonna have done this year.
No.
We're gonna have
So,
to budget for it,
yeah.
try to find other things, but
Yeah.
Do we have a high-powered computer?
Ooh, we can buy one.
Well, that's, yeah.
The computers are not that expensive.
Yeah, and I don't know what they mean by high powered, it didn't really say like how much,
You want a gaming computer that can stream.
okay,
That's what you want.
so that's like 18 gig,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what we have at church.
32 gig rather. Yeah,
so we'll do some more research and
yep,
Yeah.
it's not anything that's gonna happen tomorrow, so. Take our time,
Budget
make
season
sure
is
we're ready.
around the corner.
yeah, it's upon us, we gotta start doing that.
And moving on to 10B, ratify 9/8/2025 beautification bench request decision.
I move to ratify the Select Board's 9/8/2025 decision to approve the purchase of a bench in the amount of $257.39 for use at the townhouse.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's coming tomorrow.
Item 11, new business, 11A, Thompsonburg Road closure for Halloween.
Nobody's here to represent?
Paul's
You can?
here.
Okay,
Paul's
fine.
here.
We put in the request,
Yeah.
the request we've always had to close the main street from the corner by the bridge to the library. I was speaking with Jeff this morning, and he brought up a good point. We've never closed Middletown Road at the bottom, we always just closed one lane, left one lane open, we didn't put a request in for that reason. But he brought up, with the haunted house thing going on, would it make more sense to close Middletown from the bridge to Crescent Street altogether? Just,
I was actually gonna recommend,
I was thinking myself.
Maybe even to the town hall.
More sense.
Yeah, maybe
And
to the
people
town
could go
hall.
up Crescent Street the other way.
Yeah.
at the church.
The only hard part about going beyond Crescent Street is then there's no
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
traffic
Yeah, true.
at all. But, I mean,
But there's ways to get around. What's that?
You have a business right there in that corner too, that they'd have no access to.
Yeah.
I think they might be closed.
Do they close for it?
I think, I saw Chloe the other day, I think they're closing soon for the season. Yeah. But we can find out, but
And I have a feeling Halloween wouldn't be the
What
one
night
to
is it?
probably be open on. It's a Saturday,
No, it's a Friday, isn't it?
but Friday,
Yeah.
but still Halloween, probably not too many people going.
Well, he closes early too.
what are the hours of it again?
I think we asked for 4 to 7.
Yeah.
For closure, I think the trunk or treat starts at 5:30, something like that.
And it was always closed, I mean, either that or close one lane all the way to the town hall.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be another,
Then you could have people walking.
that way.
yeah,
one
you have a
lane.
walking,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's probably a good way to do it.
Close the
Close
close
the going up lane.
northbound.
The going up lane.
Would that be
Yeah, close the
northbound?
going up lane to the town hall, and then people can walk on that side, and people can still,
It'd be
They
what,
could come down and
access.
go out Crescent Street to,
I think so, yeah.
northbound way.
That way, if there was any traffic
Yeah.
backing up, people could still get through, but.
yeah. And they can
it would
park
not
at the
be-
church for the haunted house and
yeah.
trunk or treat.
Sounds good.
Do we want to add that?
So you
Yeah.
add that to,
Northbound Middletown to the town hall.
I move to close Main Street from the corner of Route 100 and Main Street up to the South Londonderry Library, and to close Middletown Road northbound lane from the intersection of Route 100 and Main Street up to the town hall.
Third.
you want to include the dates and time?
Yes, I should come.
Not indefinitely.
On Friday, October 31st, from 4 PM to 7 PM.
Second again.
All those in favor? Aye. 11B, review and adopt personnel policy.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good
Thank
night,
you.
Paul.
But so Tina and I have been working on this. It's we took the version that you were working on
With Shane.
with Shane many moons ago. Did try to use Copilot to come up with a summary of changes. It was pretty good, but it didn't do all of them. So you wanna?
Yeah, the general updates, the title and stuff. The at-will section is all throughout the document. It's not just at the, I think it was at the end, I don't remember.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. We, because Bob had a little bit of question about the at-will language and the progressive discipline framework. We changed the persons covered, removed elected officials, and will add the addendum B, which will be for elected officials who are covered by the personnel policy.
That was important at the time, but that has
Yeah,
sort of shifted away.
but we still should have something in writing for me and Ally, just so we're covered and you're covered.
Yeah.
We clarified the Vermont sick leave policy from the law that governs the sick leave. So we did have like a 6-month probationary period, but we decided that it doesn't have to be a 6-month waiting period if you, at your discretion. If you say to somebody, okay, you can start using your sick leave
Yeah.
as soon as you start. You can have an individual agreement with anybody. The conflict of interest thing we took out and placed in the Vermont Municipal Code of Ethics, which we just worked on.
Yeah, we just said refer to the statute.
The nepotism section, we narrowed the definition of close relative by removing extended family members, just simply because you never know.
You don't want to eliminate everyone.
No, because you could eliminate everybody.
It's a small town.
Yes, yep. And added a waiver provision allowing exceptions if supervisory conflicts are resolved in writing. So if somebody were spouses and one was the supervisor, or in the alcohol and drug use, we removed the mandatory drug testing for non-CDL employees, and I'm not even quite sure why that was in there, because we never have drug tested anybody but our CDL drivers. Emphasize performance-based decisions and legal caution. I'm not sure what that was about.
I don't know. So some things that it missed. We changed, well, first of all, we added a few holidays.
Yes,
So we added, which ones did we add? We added
Indigenous Peoples' Day and Juneteenth.
So, yeah, Indigenous Peoples' Day is the second Monday in October, and then Juneteenth we also added, and we added Bennington Battle Day.
Yeah, because those are all state or federal holidays. And yeah.
Does that capture it by, or does it align that way, that it's federal and state holiday?
Well, Bennington is a
Battle Day is only a state holiday, but all the state offices are
But
closed.
Juneteenth and Indigenous Peoples' Day or Columbus Day in other states is a federal holiday. And, you know, for what it's worth, when we were open on Juneteenth this year, people were surprised that we were open.
Yeah, but still came in.
They still came, but they were surprised we were open.
I have to ask a very stupid question. What is Juneteenth about?
It's the day that, I can look it up quick, but it's the day that the last of the slaves were informed that they were free.
Cool.
Sure. So we added that, so that's a change. We also, vacation time did not accrue, so we changed it to accrue up to 5 days, right?
Yes. That didn't get in here.
I know. I don't know what it was thinking. And also, we added a years of service accrual rate. So first through the fourth year is 10 days, fifth through ninth is 15, 10th through 19th is 16 days plus 1 day for each year over 10 years.
Are you reading from the actual?
Yes.
That's one of the things that didn't make it into the, I don't think. And then 20th and
summary.
Yeah, it was not the best summary. 20th and subsequent years, 25 days. So that was another change. We added Tina as one of the reporters for sexual harassment. And I think those are all the changes. So the other...
we fixed the health insurance too, because that had not been changed back to 100%.
I think we also...
We did the 5,000, if you're...
we added it,
you get a $5,000 stipend for if you have an eligible premium for a full-time employee that can demonstrate that they have adequate health insurance.
Because the older one said half of the premium, which is a pretty big sum, so.
Yeah.
And that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
A little too generous.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5,000 is
I mean,
pretty
it would
standard.
cover somebody, like, for instance, when I turned 65, it would cover my Medicare. or my supplement to Medicare, so.
So I guess the only other question is, when I made the suggested motion, you might pick an effective date. I don't know if you want to do it immediately, or you want to do it at the first of the year, or...
Maybe the first of the month at least, or something.
First October or something.
I feel like
Just so
this
you
has
know
been
if
a
it's-
work in progress. We
It
should
has,
lock in
yeah.
these changes and
Yeah.
then start working on the
We
next
actually had a
round.
really
Yeah,
Not another
absolutely,
15
yeah.
years.
We had a good meeting with Bob, and
Yeah, Bob was good with this version,
Yeah.
so...
All right. Anyone care to make a motion?
I move to adopt the personnel policy as amended August 19, 2025, effective October 1st, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you guys for work on that as well.
11C, Warren Town Plan hearing and adoption, 30 days from September 29th.
So, the planning commission had their meeting on Friday, and they had their public hearing, and then they voted to send the amended town plan to the select board. So it is now in your hands as of now, and in order to adopt it, you need to warn a public meeting 30 days from now. Public hearing, I'm sorry, to hear any comments or questions from the public. And then after that hearing, you can vote to adopt the amended town plan, which expires on October 2nd. And for which we need to have a current plan in order to apply for funding, among other things, and do the zoning bylaws.
And these dates work even with the timing of the hearing and stuff like that.
Yeah, just because their hearing was on the 29th, so this would be exactly 30 days. It's a, I don't know what day that is. I think it's a Thursday.
What day is it? October
29th
29th is Wednesday.
is a Wednesday.
Sounds good.
We shall. I move to warn a notice of public hearing on October 29th at 5 p.m. at the town office to hear comments and concerns from the public regarding the amended town plan per VSA 24, section 4385A.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
We got the 18th, we got the 29th.
Yeah, hopefully we will be done with, the random meetings for a while after that one.
Except budget.
Except for budget, never mind.
All right.
I lost my...
Moving on to 11D, review and approve Londonderry's participation in the national opioids settlement. We've been doing this for years now.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We
No-brainer.
get a small check every year.
Yeah. We get several small checks.
Oh.
But they're still pretty small.
They come from each company.
Sorry, go ahead.
I move to approve Londonderry's participation in any national opioid settlement and authorize the town administrator to enter Londonderry into such settlements and to sign any and all documents necessary to execute this action on behalf of the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
11E, approve itinerant vendor permit, Workhorse Sandwich Shop.
I lost that one.
Kurt online?
What is that?
That's...
I don't know if Kurt's online, but I'm happy to speak to the broader. Is he here?
Is he online? Did you zoom in?
Huh?
We don't have a Zoom link.
Yeah, we don't have a Zoom link.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
Gary Kleinman, 609 Undermountain Road, also owner of West River Coffee Barn, launching a broader series of food truck Fridays
God, I missed that one.
at the Coffee Barn. We Will already left, but we already have a permitted food truck spot in our parking lot. We have agreements with the Workhorse El Chepe Tacos, and a Crooked Barn. Pete does the charcuterie. And every Friday from 11 to 2 between October 3rd and November 7th. So a series of 6 weeks, Friday lunch at the coffee shop. That's the pilot. And if it works out, maybe we would do it next summer. But El Chepe and a Crooked Barn are kind of covered because they already have permits to do vending at the West River Farmers Market. Workhorse is in Winhall, and he's never had an itinerant vendor license for Londonderry, so I think technically, just to be safe, I know Will was saying it's confusing the way your bylaw is written, whether you actually need select board approval. But just to be safe, Kurt wanted to have select board approval for him to also be a vendor in Londonderry, so that we can have all three work. Happy to leave something in writing if that helps you, but happy to answer
Did you
questions.
fill out the application?
You know what, that might be why it's not in here. I don't think I got it back from him.
Okay. He just needs to fill
He
out
just
the
needs to fill out the application, but the select board could still,
He came in last, didn't he?
did he give it to me? I don't seem to, he came in to get it, but I don't think he filled it out. But it's fine. He can just fill it out after the fact. It's just
Can
a
we
form.
just approve it with the
Contingent that he fills it out, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would make that motion unless there's more discussion.
No, go ahead.
I would move to approve an itinerant vendor permit application for Workhorse Sandwich Shop contingent on the receipt of the application.
Second. All those in favor?
Do we have a location? Aye.
It's at the,
It's all
Yeah,
on.
that's fine.
it would be on, you have to do a sketch.
No.
It would be all on the form, yeah.
Great, okay.
Yeah. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure I never got it back.
Okay, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Somebody from them before they do
No, there has to be an executive session.
We're doing executive session, yeah.
Item 12,
No, there won't be any
Just needs to write down the
decisions.
time.
Yeah.
so item 12, executive session 1 VSA 313A1F, confidential attorney-client communications made for the purpose of providing professional legal services to the
Thank
public.
you.
Did you make a sign?
We haven't made a sign yet. You ready?
Came out of executive session at 7:50. Anyone care to make a motion?
I move to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?